Many students of mass communication hear the term public relations or PR tossed around, but most don't really understand what it is. Well, trust a blue monster with an orange tie to tell you that it is a profession which helps organizations communicate. Specifically, it is a management function that determines how organizations get their messages out to a variety of audiences. Now, this might sound like advertising, but trust me when I tell you that advertising is a completely different beast. With advertising, you pay for everything. You pay for developing and creating the message, as well as where and when it will be made available to audiences. PR is more subtle. Public relations creates messages and then uses methods of influence to try to get those messages to appear in front of audiences. Let's look at an example. If I work for a large seafood company, I can pay to have a commercial made and pay to have it air after the first block of any given newscast. That is advertising. A public relations approach would be to craft a news story about the benefits of eating seafood, then distribute it to news wires in the hopes that news organizations would pick it up and run it, perhaps with modifications, during local newscasts. This tactic is called a news release or press release. It is a tried and true form of public relations communication that allows organizations to have their work talked about in front of large audiences. This form of writing generates a significant amount of news that you encounter on a day-to-day basis, especially for product-oriented news. If you're watching or reading a news story about a new electric car or the release date of the next great smartphone, often those stories exist because PR practitioners generated news-like content and managed to get it in front of members of the news outlet which publishes it. Press releases frequently follow the inverted pyramid style, which puts the most important information at the outset, then filters down through points of lesser importance. Just like news stories, they require a headline and a lead paragraph. The main difference in the audience is that the press release will be read by a news professional who will decide if he or she wants to use it in their news content. The better written and more compelling the story, the higher the likelihood that it will be presented as part of a news publication. Press releases are often modified by news organizations so that they feel like original content. For instance, a news anchor may rewrite the lead to fit his or her speaking style, or content may be reorganized or cut down from time to time for time or space constraints. These types of edits are encouraged by PR professionals. After all, their goal is gaining exposure for their clients through news outlets. Of course, there are other forms of writing in the world of PR, such as annual reports or crisis communications, but for college students learning the basics of what public relations is all about, the press release is a good starting point for understanding what the profession entails. That's all for now. See you next time.